Stream starting now.
Every fighter has a tale. Ray Moylette's a saga of grit and resolve. He savored victory's high, risen from defeat's lows. A true warrior's journey. Each setback only fueled his comeback. Stronger, unwavering. Now, in his hometown, Ray faces his ultimate test. One last showdown. More than a fight, a tribute to a legacy. One final dance. One lasting legacy.
And we are live. Welcome to the Dead Hedgehogs, everybody. I'm here with Mr. Stephen Cowboy Kelly. My name's Chris Gavigan, as you probably know. Our special guest today.
Very special guest.
All the way from Island 80.
Not too
Island
far
80.
away.
Nothing, only over the road, but Sugar Ray Moylette.
Thank you. Yeah, special, but maybe not a guest, but special, all right.
Very special guest in this studio. Cheers for coming in, mate. Really appreciate it.
No bother. Delighted to get the call. I'm looking at you all the time, so I want to join you now for this time.
Excellent. Cheers, Ray.
So, yeah, look, guys, put your questions into Ray. We'll be going through this over the course of the next hour or so. Yeah, luckily we're just after having dinner.
We are after having
Ray
dinner.
watched us eat dinner.
Watched us eat dinner. I felt so bad. And also, I'm going to mention it.
You got to do it.
I am going to do it.
I want to join you now for this time.
I want to mention it.
Excellent. Cheers,
I want to
Ray.
mention it.
So,
The place that we brought
yeah,
him,
look, guys,
he's
put your
obviously you're
questions
on a
into
strict
Ray.
diet 'cause it's
We'll be
fight week
going
for you.
through this over the course of the
And
next
he
hour or
brought
so.
your own stuff, and all he wanted to do was heat
yeah,
it up. And
luckily
they
we're
wouldn't heat
just
it up from
after having dinner.
which I thought
We
was
are
Well,
after having
Ray
dinner.
watched us eat dinner.
Watched us eat dinner. I felt so bad. I felt so bad, and also I'm going to mention it.
You got to do it.
I am going to do it. I want to join you now for this time. Cheers, Ray.
Yeah, look, guys, put your questions into Ray. We'll be going through this over the course of the next hour or so.
It's not the first place I wasn't allowed into either.
Fair enough. We'll talk about that later on. But I thought that would be just a done thing. We explained that you were fighting Sunday. You're on a particular diet and you have to track what you're eating. And I thought it was just a given. I didn't even question it. And when I said it to your man, I could tell in his face. That I was asking for a lung, and that was just the waiter. But anyway,
Look, I didn't think happen. I'm not put out too much.
I've actually heard of people not heating up bottles as well for kids, for babies.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what was actually worse was watching the two of you stuff your faces. You'd steak and bacon and cabbage and everything.
And you know what?
You
It
know what?
wasn't-
You didn't lose any sleep over that.
No, but it wasn't even nice.
It looked good to me.
I didn't enjoy every single bit of it.
No, I think you were sickened by the fact that he wasn't able to heat up his food.
I was actually, yeah.
Actually
I was a bit,
ruined the food
I
for
was
you.
a bit pissed off. But anyway, we'll move on from that. How far out from the fight do you have to, like, start watching what you eat?
I started at Christmas,
Yeah.
not in Christmas. The 1st of January, I sort of
Okay.
put the last nail in the coffin. I said, "No, that's it. I'm done."
Did you know you were going fighting at that stage?
I did, yeah. I sort of orchestrated this around myself.
Yeah.
I sort of made this happen, not single-handedly by all means. I sort of put the idea out into the universe, and people came and helped me then when I put it out there.
Brilliant.
I'll tell you why I had to do it, because boxing career over the last couple of years has been slow, and I wasn't getting the opportunities for fighting.
Yeah.
I wanted the big fights, but I was getting short notice. So I need to be in Dublin training all the time. I'm working now full time with Kay and Thursday, so I can't just go to Dublin training and hoping a phone call will come for a fight.
Okay.
So, and then I was getting a couple of weeks notice for big fights, and I wasn't training, so I couldn't take them. So
Of
it was
course.
catch-22. So the only way I could really put the heart and soul into my career is if I took it by the scruff of the neck and
Take a big chance.
did it
on
myself.
Yeah.
Made it
So
happen yourself.
I
yeah.
made it. Well, I didn't make it happen myself, but I put it out there and I got backing. I wanted to fight back in Castlebar always. Back in 2018 was a serious night. It was probably the best night of my whole career.
Yes.
And I lost the fight.
Yeah.
It was just the atmosphere, the occasion, just everything was class.
That was
and
2018.
2018. Yeah. So, 6 years. Well, five
You
and a half
were
years
on
ago.
a kind of a crest of a wave at that stage.
Oh, I was
boxing wise.
flying. I was
Yeah.
flying. Yeah, that was the first speed bump that I hit.
Yeah. I don't know if was I at that.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
That's how bad my memory's gone. Just let us know as well how the sound is, guys.
Yeah,
And
I think there was a glitch there for a second. I think it's sorted.
Okay, it's
But
sorted now.
Tell us if the sound is back okay, okay? I can see the sound seemed to be going alright. It was peaking there for a while, it was cutting out, so hopefully that's sorted itself.
Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, so back in 2018 you were crest of a wave, and obviously since then there's been some ups and downs, and it's,
Yeah, I was on like a 10 or 11 fight spree, winning them all. Fought for a big title, WBC International. It was actually a silver title. It wasn't one of the bigger ones, but it was a credible enough title.
Okay.
And would have put me into the world rankings. I
Wow.
lost that fight on split decision. I ended up having then hassle with management. That had to be all sorted out. So that was 3 or 4 months by the time I went through the legal system.
Okay.
Then I went to America to fight. Well, I nearly went to America. I got stopped at US Customs in Dublin Airport. My visa wasn't up to date.
No way.
Yeah. It was, but it was a holiday visa I was working off, and I needed a working visa because
Yeah,
I was
of
going
course,
over
okay.
fighting. But it was a catch-22 because I wasn't making big money, and it was big money to get the visa. And if I got it, I was going to pay in tax. So I wasn't paying enough. I wasn't making enough money to make it viable, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So
Yeah.
the rule of thumb is you keep going till you get caught, and then you fix it.
Yes.
Like
yeah,
every,
yeah.
like everything.
I like that rule.
No, the thing is not to get caught.
Yeah.
So yeah, then that took nearly a year to sort itself out. Like I'd have over 8 fights in Boston and the surrounding areas. I was flying, loving life.
Oh, so you had already boxed.
Oh, I
in-
have had. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, through my career, and like I was in the middle of my career too, because I was like. I was in my early 30s, 29, 30. Like I was hitting hot, and that was mighty. I got everything sorted, paid a couple of grand for this visa, got that over the line, and I landed over on Wednesday. Trump declared national emergency on Thursday, and I was on a plane home on Friday for COVID.
Oh my
And then
God.
That
I was going to say,
obviously-
was that COVID? Obviously,
yeah,
it was COVID.
I know.
Yeah.
I hate mentioning that word. I even hate the sight of the whole thing.
I know.
But
I know.
that-
So do I.
I lost 2 years there of my career. I'll never get back.
Yeah.
Would
Would you blame the lockdown for that happening?
No, I wouldn't blame the lockdown because it happened for everyone. It happened
Yeah.
to everyone. Happened for everyone. But it was just bad timing because
yeah.
I'd lost my first fight. I had issues with my management last time there, and then I had issues with the visa, and then COVID. Like 3 or 4 things there all came together. So I lost nearly 3 years in the middle of my career when I was flying.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having kids in the middle of COVID, and
Fucking kids.
life took over.
Yeah.
And it sort of slowed me down a bit. Not in a bad way. Just my priorities changed then.
Would you
I had to
say
get a job, then had to go working. So that's really slowed me down.
affect that as well?
Yeah.
Would you say that you've been unlucky in your boxing career?
No, I was probably lucky to win all I won.
Okay.
More than unlucky.
Without going, because we'll go back to the titles in a minute. I think we should go back to the beginning and where, like, obviously the influence of Westport and Island 80 and your family and stuff like that. I think that's a really important part that might be. It can be easily glossed over, but probably quite a poignant thing this week.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I think everyone's fed up with me telling the story. I started when I was 7. I went back with my brother Richard.
Well, remember, a lot of people on this will probably never heard the story.
Okay.
So,
well, okay. Well, that's all right. They'll be fed up with me so after this. I started. My brother Richard used to box. He likes to be called Ricardo now. He married a Spanish lady.
Oh,
so
Ricardo, not too
he's
bad.
very fancy now.
Talk about notions.
Yeah, and so I went back with him, and my father used to bring the 2 of us back. I'd be running around the gym, not boxing, obviously, not at 7 years old, and unknown to myself, I was picking up the bits and pieces. By the time I came to 11, I was fully experienced boxer, and I was fighting lads that were just started. So
Okay.
I started winning straight off the bat, and I was way ahead of the posse.
Okay.
So
So you knew there was a talent there.
no, well, I just hit the ground early. I got a head start, unknown to everyone and anyone, and that's I started winning from an early age, and then it got to a stage in the middle of my career where I thought I didn't have to train at all,
Okay.
and then I got caught up, and everyone else caught up with me, and then I put the foot down again.
What age is this?
So you're-
15, 16.
Okay.
When the balling started to drop.
Is it apart from a physical thing? Is it also? I get it now. Pardon the pun. Is boxing as much mental as it is physical?
I'd say it's even more mental.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. There's like you're training your whole life, whatever but you have to perform, and then it's 9 minutes. Let's say an amateur fight, or it was probably 6 minutes when I was fighting. So like you're training for months, and you're training for a full year to perform for 6 minutes, at the best you can ever be. And you're taking into account what the other man is doing. The ref is there. Then you have to impress the judges. There's an awful lot of moving parts to this.
This is
and it
the
all
amateur
has to
game.
click. The whole thing has to click. That's the amateur game.
Yeah.
Professional boxing is a bit different. I'm fighting 8 rounds the next night, but I've fought 10 rounds before, fought on 2 occasions. But that's more of a marathon.
Okay.
You can take your time. You can wait for the shot to come available
Right, okay.
in the 6th or 7th
Be
round.
more-
There's a frantic
Yeah.
nature to amateur boxing.
Oh, amateur
Okay.
boxing's crazy. As in, say if you get hit, a jab comes through with the big guard, you're panicking straight. You say, oh bollocks, I have to get that
to
back.
get
So
something
you're
back.
really
Okay,
rushing.
I get
Whereas
it.
you could get hit 10 jabs in pro boxing. Say, I'm going to get him now in a few rounds.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
okay. It's a bit like racing. It's 5 furlong versus a 3 mile.
Yes.
You have to get going from
100%,
from the beginning,
Yeah.
and you can't drop for a second.
But going back to those early days where you were winning consistently, you're picking up All Irelands all the way through the youth.
Yeah,
ranks and
the boys, so 11
boys,
and
yeah.
13, and then I sort of skipped a year every year because when I won, I thought I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
Just show up, and then I lost, and then I had to go back training again.
Yeah.
I was lucky as well in some fights, and I got the break.
As
some
you
of the
need.
break. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
plenty of breaks too. But then there was times that was taken from me as well. I'm definitely even with the universe now. I say
Okay.
with the boxing.
That's a great way of looking at it. And
you really came to prominence in especially in Mayo when you won the World Junior Championships. Was it in Mexico? Was it?
Yeah, back 2008. I was going to say 2018.
Yeah.
2008. Yeah,
Yeah. So like obviously that must
what age were you then?
I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 18, and I wanted to pack up boxing a year before that. And Martin Brennan, good friend
For
of
what
mine,
reason did you want to pack it up?
I wanted to go working, and I wanted to go out with the lads, and I
enjoy
just had
yourself.
enough. Not even
Okay.
enjoy myself. I just thought I was done with boxing. I probably wanted throwing the toys out of the pram a little bit too.
Yeah.
And my uncle my uncle Richie Duffy, he used to box as well, and Martin Brennan, my amateur coach, they came to the house and they said...
Bet the shite out of you.
I said I'm not going to let that happen again, so I stayed boxing.
They convinced you to go.
They convinced me, but I have an uncle, he's a chippy, a roofer or whatever, a carpenter, and I wanted to leave school at 16. I wanted to go work with him. I wanted to go work, and I wanted to make money. I wanted to be driving a car at 17, and I wanted to be all of this
A lot
stuff.
of people. I couldn't wait to get out of school.
Unknown to myself,
School,
I was throwing away everything.
Yeah.
And I asked my uncle, would he take me on? He'd absolutely no bother, teach me the trade, become a chippy. And he knew about the boxing. He just said, what's the story with the boxing? I said, yeah, I still have probably a couple of fights left of me. He said, well, I won't give you any time off for them, so it's up to yourself whether you want to stay fighting or do you want to work with me. So I said, oh, bollocks, but stay fighting.
Okay.
I said, for another couple of years.
Right.
And then my uncle and Martin Brennan came and they talked to me. And then I went to win the All-Ireland. I was sent on the plane to the World Championships in Mexico to represent my country at the World Championships. This is a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
I said, I wanted to impress everyone, but
Was there pressure?
no.
No.
I wasn't expected to do much anyway. So I said, I want to go over and win one fight. Sorry,
Okay.
I want to get a drink of water there. I want to go over and win one fight. I won 5 fights in 7 days. And
Against the top people in the people in the world.
yeah, I bet the Cuban for a bronze medal, and then I bet Kazakhstan in the final, and he went on to win Olympic gold medals in 2016 or 2012.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the Olympics further down. But when you say you won 5 fights, this is amateur level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this isn't your record with it, where it's what's your
11 or 13 and 2. 13
yeah.
wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw.
Okay, so that's not including
No,
that.
no,
This is
no.
the professional. That's different again.
Well, I've had over 300 amateur fights.
Well, many?
300, I'd say.
Oh,
Probably
wow.
won. Yeah, I probably won 250 at a guess. Could be
Crazy.
could be 240 or could be 260, but if I was put a rough guide on it.
So that what was it that the feeling around being in Mexico there was how many Irish fighters were there?
We had a
in
full
Mexico?
team, so
10?
8 to 10. Yeah.
So
no, like
what
that
what was the feeling around the camp? Was there any other Irish lads that came away with
Yeah,
championships?
we won a gold medal. I was the gold medal. I was the first ever Irish amateur boxer to win a world amateur title.
Okay.
Now it was junior, so it was under 18.
Yeah.
But no one had won it before that, senior or junior.
Has anyone won it since?
Yes, they have.
Yes.
Yeah. Joe Ward won it, and Willie O'Donoghue maybe.
Jason Quigley got to the final. He got silver medal.
Yeah, but that was senior.
senior. Yeah.
Yeah. Katie Taylor won. She won everything.
Yeah.
We don't count her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And you've boxed not boxed Katie Taylor, but
I
you've
have boxed. Yeah, I used to be sparring her.
Okay, very good.
In
fair
my
enough.
younger days, in my lighter days,
Yeah.
yeah, we used to spar together. She used to give me plenty. I used to give her plenty, but probably not as much as I got.
Yeah. Okay.
And I used to love training with her. She you lift your level. Well,
Okay.
you were trying to impress her more than
Yeah.
box her.
Okay. And would you hit as hard as you would?
No, I wouldn't. No, but she would.
Yeah.
And this is like before the whole system of girls and boys together
Yeah.
and equals. This wasn't a thing 15 years ago when I used to be sparring with Katie.
Yeah.
I used to win mad with the coaches. Why am I sparring her? I don't want. I can't hit her.
You don't want to hear.
And then as soon as you get hit a few times, you say,
Yeah.
"Fuck that! I'm gonna hit her." That's.
And
she in fairness to her, she changed the whole landscape around having respect for female boxing. And
no,
stuff
100%.
within the sport and outside.
She single-handedly brought women's boxing into the Olympic Games. She done all the trial runs. She set the standard,
Wow.
and they all came to view her, and then they made the decision because of her.
Is that just your thinking?
No,
or that's 100%?
I'm a factual.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so she's changed the game. she's changed women's boxing
Forever, so.
On the professional game. They're headlining fight nights now.
Yeah.
Because of
We
Kate
were at
Taylor.
it. Me and this man were at the...
because of Kate Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, she is a role model for anyone or anything. And if you if she was sitting here beside you now, you wouldn't know she's any different than me or you, even though she's far better.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't act any different.
Yeah,
There's no ego.
I can imagine. I've never met her, but
anything with her. Yeah.
From what I've seen
She's
on
just
social
genuine
media,
and she's pure, and she's at a different level than the rest of us, really.
Yeah.
But Joe, even in those formative years, obviously going into the high performance gym, that's on the South Circular Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going in, sparring yourself, Paddy Barnes, Michael Conlon, whoever was in there at the time, that must have brought
that
her
was
on,
a serious
unreal
that
fun.
was a serious setup. But I tell you, we used to live above the gym, and it was like something on Police Academy or something. The characters that were there and the mess.
Would you be all together?
All together, yeah.
Okay.
Now Katie wasn't. I think she used to go up and down home, or she got another.
Probably
only
so
a
close,
shade.
yeah.
We were all together, and you couldn't close your eyes at night for fear of what had happened. Yeah, yeah. Not in the bed, but like you'd have no clothes or you'd have nothing left to go to. And I remember Jerry Hussey. He's actually a very good friend of mine. He's a great psychologist now, sports psychologist. He's a motivational speaker now as well. But Tony Davitt is one of the old school coaches that was there, and we're all staying in the dormitory, I'll call it, and it was late at night. It was 11 or 12 o'clock, and all the lights were off. But Tony Davitt was out. He must have went down to town for a cup of tea at 11 o'clock at night, right? He was in the room with Jerry Hussey, because they had a little box room away that was just 2 beds, but then there was 10 bunk beds in the next section, and I took the mattress out of Tony's.
I'm sure he loved you
the
for it.
mattress out of his bed, and I dressed it all up again, brand new, and I took the light bulb out of his side of it, so he couldn't turn on the main light in front of him because there was 20 lads there.
Yes,
and he couldn't turn on his own light, and he jumped in on top of the steel wire, and Jerry Hussey never let her. He said, "Moylette." He knew well straight away that it was me. Yeah, but that was one of the better occasions.
Would there be many cups of tea? Would you be able to have any pints when you were up there? Or was it strict?
I never drank in high performance.
Yeah.
What I did was I drank in Castlebar at home, and I didn't go up to high performance.
Yeah.
A lot of the lads, I used to bring them into Coppers and pick them up again at 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And they could train better than me the next day. Won't name any names, but Michael Conlon and Paddy Barnes. And you know what? And we were on the running track, and I couldn't catch them on the running track, and they were out all night.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
That was a different level. But I abused myself as a young fella. I was on good money. I was on the high performance grant. I
was just about to ask that. Financially, how is this happening? How are you able to...
Sport Ireland.
Yeah, sport. I was getting government funded money. You were paying for me.
Lovely.
and you should have paid more. So you should. I know. I was like
it was him that crashed the country in 2008.
This was in the this is in 2008. This is more 2010. Wow. No, I started going on the government grant really in 2011. I got, so it was 2012-ish.
Yeah.
When I would have at my best.
And, how long were you on the Sports Ireland stuff, or the?
I was on the high performance for 8 years, from 2008 to 2016.
I know, like it's an achievement in itself, because you have to be winning.
Oh yeah, you have to be winning. You have to be at the level.
How many senior titles had you won in that?
I only won one. Would you believe that?
Really?
But I won a senior title in 2010, and I lost 3 finals that I won. I thought I won.
Yeah.
And didn't get them. But I was performing, let's say, on the road. I was in the camps, I was performing. So Billy Welch probably had a soft spot for me as well, because he played football and I knew the crack, and he could talk with me, and so they probably kept me on a bit longer than I should have, really. But
I'll get on to personalities in boxing and how much it means to have a personality, but we'll go through some of the comments first. Kent is in the chat. How are things, Kent? Always involved. Irish boxing sound has been a bit lost, but I think we fixed that. Kent says, Ray, impressive 12-1, 4 KOs. That's updated, isn't it?
I'd say so. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My record doesn't really. Like a lot of these boxers, they dwell all on the record. They're
Yeah.
8-0.
Yeah.
But they fought nobodies. Do you know what I mean? So they're not
Yes.
really 8-0.
But
They've
to
8 fights and they fought 8 dummies.
Yes.
That doesn't really count. I didn't shy away from any fight ever. I'm
Yeah.
never not trying to protect the I want a real fight. That's
Yeah.
all I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like a fella with 5 wins and 5 losses could be better than a fella 10-0.
That's the whole thing about it as well. It's all about the type of fights that you're in, and the history. When you look at someone's record and you see 20-0, I mean, that could be a completely different story to someone
It
with
could be blown up. It
yeah,
could be
15 and 5.
That's why boxing lost a lot of credibility for a long time, and why UFC gained so much traction, because they were just putting on the fights, and there was lads there, like there was legends that were going on losing streaks,
Yes.
but they were still getting great fights, and they were putting in big performances. But like the likes of whoever, like Nick Diaz,
Yeah.
he hadn't won a fight for 3 or 4 years there, but he was still in all the big fights, in a
But-
lot of big fights and stuff. So he was.
Thankfully now boxing on the way back because Jake
Yeah.
Paul is bringing it back. Do you know what I mean?
I think
That's heartbreaking. Like
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
heartbreaking.
How do you feel about people
I
just
tell you what,
walking into
I
the
said
sport?
it to a few people today, just the way it came up, because everyone wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mike
but they know about
Tyson.
boxing and they don't. Like Mike Tyson is 57 years of age. He's
Yeah.
a walking cane. He's lived hard for 40 plus years, as in lived hard.
I'd
Yeah.
say even longer.
Right.
I'd say,
Probably
yeah.
longer. And like Jake Paul, he's young, he's fit, he's fast, he's strong, he's big. He's an athlete now. He's been training like this now for a
yeah.
couple of years. He's a real
he's an
athlete.
I
And
know
he's
that.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Whether he can box or he's not, it doesn't matter.
probably just-
Well, again,
can't
he
say.
has he picked has he fought anyone decent?
No,
No.
but I don't mind him making big money, making millions, like promoting everything and doing whatever he wants to do. But don't call it boxing.
Okay.
Let him do what he wants to do, and I'd back him 100%. Because if it's on, I'll watch it. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
But it's disheartening, and it doesn't do boxing any favors because it's not boxing really.
Yeah, 100%. That's what
But
was
let them-
my question.
But let him. I want him to do what he's doing. Let him do it, but call it something else.
Yeah.
That'd be my only concern. Like,
Yeah, like,
boxers are giving out saying this is not boxing. This is going mad. He shouldn't be doing that. But like, let him do it. It's entertainment. At the end of the day, we all want to know what's happening, but it's not boxing. That's the only
Is he
thing.
ranked?
No.
Can he be ranked?
I'd say because he's nearly ranked. I'd say.
I think he is. I think he is
If you
ranked.
have enough
Chris.
money in boxing, you can be ranked too.
That's another thing. How much of
I
this?
suppose if your man Tommy Fury's some way ranked, then Jake Paul fighting him.
How much of boxing is all about money, and what is boxing as a sport these days? Is it 50-50?
I wouldn't say it's 50-50, but it's not far off. Like boxing was probably cleaner when the gangsters ran it
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the day, and
Yeah.
the mafia. It was probably cleaner and straighter. It's
It's a
you
fight
know,
for attention now, isn't
it
it?
Yeah.
is, and it's how many followers do you have?
Yeah.
Like,
Again,
I don't have
social-
enough followers to get big fights
Yeah.
because I'm not marketable enough.
You're right.
My criteria, my boxing criteria is enough.
Well, that's a
and I'm
sad.
good enough.
If a sport is dependent on your following on Instagram, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with
But
the
there's
sport.
still that innate thing where they're like, well, we don't want to put someone in against Ray who has real pedigree against an up and comer, because that might actually
Be detrimental to the up and comer.
might be detrimental.
And
to
they've
the-
only like a couple of thousand followers on Instagram, whatever. Whereas they'll put them in against someone else with less skill than me, with more following. Because professional boxing is about putting bums on seats, selling tickets.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to get tickets to my next fight, it's on Eventbrite. John,
Yeah. Well, I'll be pushing it during the week on all
just-
the platforms.
It's also it's actually in
I want to
the,
invest
in
it.
the
But at the end, it's all about market and it's all about getting it out there. Really, the promoters don't want the best fights. No one really wants the best fights. They want the most marketable fights. They want to make the most money.
That must be very disheartening for any boxers out there.
Well, for the likes of me, an average boxer in the bigger scheme of things, an average boxer, but I put my whole life into it, that I can't get the opportunity to try and get up the ladder.
Yeah, and
because
showcase your
I
talent.
made a funny stage in my career. I did get offered big fights, and I got into a big fight with Dalton Smith. But he's like the top prospect on Eddie Hearn's roster.
Yeah.
I got a couple of weeks' notice, and I was out of the ring for a couple of years before it fought him. But
What
I
fight
wanted
was
to
that? Your
fight
last fight?
No, a second last fight.
Second last fight.
I wanted to test myself against the best, and I got a good offer. I got a few pounds for it, and I got it 7 or 8 weeks camp. Even if I got another 8 weeks along with it, I probably still wouldn't have bet him. But
Okay.
I wanted
So
to test
you
myself.
lost that fight.
But that's the caliber they're giving me. They're not giving me the up and comers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're established.
These guys are seasoned pros, and they're at the top level, and then they're calling me in. Whereas I'm not at that level, but my pedigree is, but I'm not. If that makes sense. Sorry, it's a bit of a.
I kind of
complicated.
understand that. Whereas if you'd got this,
I'm not training enough. I'm not active enough to match my pedigree.
Is that because
I can't get paid for training?
Yeah, I was just about. Is that financial reasons?
Financial reason. I can't take time off work to be in Dublin training and no phone call to come, because everything costs money. I have to pay my trainer, I have to pay for accommodation, and I have to pay for diesel up and down, and I need to pay for stuff at home as well.
Yes, of course.
And
you have
there's
two
a chance the phone call might not come.
Yeah.
So
you're
if I was living in Dublin, it might be.
I was
a bit
just about to
different.
say that. Do you think the fact that you're from the west of Ireland, that it was detrimental to?
It's not the fact that I'm from the west of Ireland. It's because there's no in the west of Ireland we don't have professional
Facilities
coaches
or coaches.
or sparring partners. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not a Mayo versus Dublin thing. It's not because I'm from the west of Ireland. Feel sorry for me. There's none of that shite.
Yeah.
It's we don't have the population of boxers down here. Like I can train as good down here as in Dublin. That's no bother. But I can't spar as good down here as I can in Dublin.
Okay.
That's where the sparring partners is.
And you're probably in that nether region where you're like, I can't spend money on bringing lads to me because that's going to cost.
Yeah,
money
it doesn't.
as well.
It's not paying.
It's not like Joe Calzaghe, and Joe Calzaghe famously fought in like the shed that he boxed in his whole life. Whereas he grew through the ranks and became a top boxer, he had the money to bring in lads that he wanted to spar with.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So it's.
But even getting back to being based in Mayo, even for your fan base, would it have been easier? Would it have been easier to have a base like in Dublin? Does that make sense?
Not really. What do you mean?
Like even say the way Emmett Brennan, I know he's an Olympian, and we were talking about, but the fact that he's from Dublin, the Dubs automatically get behind him immediately.
I know. In fairness, I've been very lucky. I've had great support over the years. Oh yeah, I'd be known, like even in the amateur days when wasn't a thing, whereas professional boxing is all about bringing people to your fight and getting people there and getting support. But amateur boxing, there's no benefit to anyone, or it's not a financial game.
Yeah.
So, but I was getting great following then as well. So I'd be known for that even. And they've always looked after me. The home support always came and they travelled with me, and I've been very lucky that way. But I wish I had more to offer for them. A better big fight. I wish I could give them more big fights.
Of course.
The Olympics. We talked about this when we were down in the restaurant. How difficult would it have been to get into the Olympics? You were what, one fight away from?
I was one fight away, and it was horrible, terrible.
Yeah.
I went through 2 Olympic cycles. 2012 in London. I was 2 fights away in 2012. That time, but I really wasn't at the level.
Okay.
But 2016 I was flying, going on great, and I made it sort of happen myself because Dean Walsh got the decision over me in the senior championships, so the elite championships, and he got picked.
To go straight through?
No, to go to the qualifiers, the first qualifiers, let's say. And he didn't actually get picked that time. It was so controversial that, I got banned because I wouldn't leave the ring in protest.
Right,
I got banned.
I don't remember that.
Got a couple of months banned.
Where was that?
Where was that
Dublin
fight? It was Dublin live on TG4.
Yeah, I remember watching it on TG4.
And I thought I won it. And then we went to training camp. We're meant to have a box off, so they're meant to pit the 2 of us together to have a box off. And then they picked the winner. They cancelled that box off the day before and said, no, we'll bring the two of you to Azerbaijan for the training camp and we'll assess you over the week. That was sound. As soon as we landed over there, they said, we're going to have a box off here now. So behind closed doors, the team was there, and I, John Conlon, in my corner, which is Michael Collins' dad. I got on very well with him on setup. But they couldn't shout in any instruction or nothing like that. And the rest of the team was there, and they were just sitting at ringside. This is like in a closed shop, and the teammates were just sitting outside.
And they could only pick one of you?
Yeah, they could only pick one of us. But it wasn't done there and then. They videoed it and sent back to Dublin for video analysis. So it was real technical.
Yeah.
So I found out anyway later, I won that fight by 2 points. The video analysis came back.
Yeah.
And that was sound. And a couple of days later, Zora said the fight was too close. We didn't know who won it because we were not meant to know. But I found a way. I knew. It came back to me anyway that I won it by 2 points. That was fair enough. And he said, Zora said it was too close. We have to fight again. So we fought again, and the exact same thing. It was horrible, really, going into this
I would have
white
been
room.
fuming.
It was horrible. But anyways, nothing could do there. And it came back that time. The video analysis, the result came back. It was a draw. And they picked Dean Walsh then to go to the qualifier. So I sort of said, no, fuck this. I threw it there. And then I got in through a backdoor system, through an amateur professional boxing sort of side gig. And there was 5 in the weight, went to Venezuela. Were picked up by army escort and was police everywhere. I think the troubles were on in Venezuela at the time. There was no bread.
Wow.
Well, that was horrible.
They love the bread out in Venezuela.
Locked into a compound. And was 5 in the weight. There was one very good lad from Armenia. He couldn't go to the Olympic qualifiers, the previous ones, because they were at war with Azerbaijan or something like that. They might be still at war, I don't know. But he couldn't go to the qualifiers, so they gave him a special pass to go to this qualifier.
Okay.
And we said it was 5 in the weight. I was one of them, so it was 4 others. 3 others were donkeys. And I think I said it the last time. My mother would have bet them, and she probably still beat them. I couldn't but qualify.
Yeah.
Or to dodge him in the first fight, because even if you lost the second fight, you could give a third fight. But if you lost the first fight, you were gone.
Okay.
Sorry, no, it's a bit complicated.
No. Yeah, we'll go through it.
All we do was dodge him in the draw. We got the Armenian in the first draw. I said, oh, bollocks. And he was very good.
Yeah.
And he bet me I think he bet me a unanimous decision, but he stopped the next 2 lads. Like he knocked them out in the next 2 fights.
Is this the first cycle or the second?
This is the last cycle.
Yeah, okay, the last cycle.
Of Rio, sorry. So this is 2016. And he knocked out the other 2 lads, and one of the lads he knocked out qualified. Do you know what I mean? So it was just hard luck, really, that side of it. So
I know you said earlier on that it wasn't nothing to do with luck, but it sounds to me like it's very unlucky.
I know, but I shouldn't have had to go that route either. Like I thought I bet Dean Walsh. That was the second senior final that I thought I won. That I didn't get. Okay. And I'm not one of these boxers. Any boxer that you ever say, did you win or lose? Oh, I was robbed. The judges robbed me. No boxer. I never heard one boxer say yet that he was fairly bet. As in bet fair and square.
Yeah.
I've often been bet fair and square, and there was some fights I won that I said I didn't actually win that fight, and I apologise.
Yeah.
But I'd never met any other boxer that says it. But these 2 particular fights, I definitely won them, and that's why
I understand.
I protested. I'm not one of these fucking idiots that the world is against and blame the judges.
Yes, of course.
If I lost a fight, I'd say I lost a fight. If I fought, I won. I think I won.
Amateur boxing has had for years just serious stink around it as well, and it creates
very much
controversies. So people be in the chat here, and they'll remember Michael Collins' finger up to the judges at the 2012 Olympics, or they might.
Where was that again?
In
Rio.
Brazil.
That's what I was hoping
Brazil.
to get to.
Yeah.
But looking back at it now, boxing, amateur boxing is so frantic. It's the 3 rounds. It's so fast. It's so close. It's very hard to judge. Looking at it now, from a professional background, whereas everything is slowed down, it's longer. You have more time to look at it. So when I look at an amateur fight now, I'm lost. I say, what the fuck's happening here? I find it very hard to pick a winner.
But
at the time when I was in the middle of it, I was clear cut. But now I'm away from it. Now it's crazy.
But I do remember watching that Michael Conlon fight, and I remember thinking, and when I say I follow boxing, I follow it as it's going along. I wouldn't be, if it was on, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
And I like to keep an eye on, it's a bit like the soccer now. I like to keep an eye on the results, but I wouldn't be an avid boxing fan, if that makes sense. But I remember thinking he's clearly won that fight, and
Michael
then
Conlan.
yeah,
Oh yeah. I think everyone except the judge that wasn't paid off.
yeah,
His favorite, you know.
I think they call them the Magnificent Seven. 7 judges that were part of a clique that
Okay.
actually ultimately got banned. And
okay. So it
but
was
they got
proven that
found
there
out.
was.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was proven, yeah.
That's shocking. I mean, that's someone's life,
But this
career.
Horrible.
This has been going on for years. Wasn't it Roy Jones Jr. in 1988 Olympics in Seoul?
Yeah.
He famously got robbed, and the Olympics were in Seoul. He was fighting a Korean.
Oh my
He got
God.
paid off.
Yeah.
The local boy won. So it's like this has been in and around the sport for years.
That's
like,
the
you
thing
know.
with boxing. You know, like if you're running a race and you finish first, you know you've won. Whereas you
Yes.
finish the fight and you hammer your man, you still don't know if you won or not.
Okay,
you
yeah,
know,
you're very well
it's-
put,
It's,
yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Well, it's the same with
it's
it,
scary.
Like, yeah.
And there was I used to play football with Ireland 80, you know, at a low enough level. I played under 21, I played minor, you know, I played a bit of junior. But people said, why didn't you stick to football? I said, no, I didn't really want to be relying on other lads. I wanted to just do my own thing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
boxing I'm on myself. But I'm so fucking far wrong I am, because I'm relying on everyone. I'm relying on the judges. I'm
Yeah.
relying on
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
else.
Your team behind
It's,
you. I
it's only a
suppose.
bit on me. I'm relying on other people to.
when you go in
I thought it was just me, but I was way off the mark.
yeah, when you go into the ring and you have the team behind you, you have the whole build up to it, the whole promotion to it. When you go into the ring, even though you'll be in front of 1,800 people or whatever is going to be there on Sunday, is it lonely?
I don't know who said it or what man said it. He said, when I walk into the middle of the ring, the coach goes down the steps. You're on your own, and
Yeah.
that's it. It is lonely, but it's lonely for him too. And I'm at it now so long. I'm at it over 20 years. It sort of just happens. If you like, I'd be anxious thinking of it now.
Yeah,
But at the time, it just happens so quick, and you just go ahead with it. You don't even have time to think about it
okay.
being lowly. But it's intimidating and it's daunting,
Yeah.
and you can't really ever get used to it.
I was just about to say, does
No,
it get
you
easier?
can't really. I'm always nervous. You have butterflies in your stomach. Even if I was only going in for a spar with a lad that I spar every night,
Yeah.
you still have the butterflies in your stomach, and
Okay.
you need them because you know you're going into like a danger zone, and like it's not normal life what you're going into.
But like compared to say, so obviously being in professional boxing now, where even at best you would be fighting every couple of months at best, but like when you were boxing at an amateur level and you might have something regional or you might have something county back in the day, and as I said, you just rack up lots of fights, and you might spar on a Wednesday and you might be fighting on a Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, and you're doing things so frantically. Did you always have those butterflies every time you went in, even at an amateur level?
I would not that I remember, but I don't remember having the butterflies.
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever going into the ring without them.
Yes.
If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Like, I think when you lose the butterflies and you don't have them, I think it's time to walk away then.
Okay.
It's too dangerous
Yeah,
to win
okay.
laxy-daisy, because I always know what's at stake. Like, it's...
I was just about to say, are you ever afraid of getting hurt?
No,
Like, proper
because
hurt?
if I was, I wouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of getting hurt, but I have been hurt.
Yeah,
I have been hurt in the ring, and I'm a bit older now, and I've been around the block a few times, and I'm not recovering as quick as I was.
Okay.
Let's say when I get hit shots, the recovery isn't there as it was. I could
yeah.
shake
Well,
them off.
I feel the same when I'm
I
out
could
drinking.
shake
at the
them
weekend.
off. I could shake them off a lot better a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I can't shake them off as good now.
Yeah,
You know, that's just part of getting on, I suppose, and
time nor tide wait for
you
no
know,
man.
experience too, as in, you know, you don't, your body doesn't want to be getting hit.
Yeah.
You know, and we call it gun shy when you don't want getting hit and you're afraid. I'm not afraid to get hit. I'll get hit plenty on Sunday night.
Yes.
That's no bother. But I'm definitely not recovering as well as I was 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this going to be your last fight?
I'll tell you what, I planned this to be my last fight. I made this happen because I wanted to go out on my terms.
Yes.
Because I was going to be retired on the couch because the phone call never came.
Okay.
And as soon as I put out there into the universe that we're running this event in the TF, it's going to be my last fight, I'm done with boxing, the phone started ringing for fights.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
So, but you know what? I don't really care about them phone calls now. Like
You're concentrating on Sunday. That's it.
and they're gone and they're done. And whether they come or not, I don't know. The last thing I want to do is just take a fight for money and just be left there saying this is my career. That was my last fight. Whereas, would it be nice to have a big fight in Castlebar in front of 1,800 people?
Yeah.
Dylan White there, like a massive event.
We haven't even talked about Dylan White.
And to go
there.
ahead and like say, you know what, that was my last fight. What a great night. What a great occasion. Wouldn't it be lovely to go out on that and say, you know what, I gave everything to the boxing. And you know, time moves on, and my priorities have changed now. Two little legends at home.
Two lads, yeah.
You know, at least then it's in my terms. Whereas now, like before Christmas, there I was cursing everyone, cursing you, cursing the world.
I do that daily though.
They didn't like. Oh, how come I never got this opportunity? How come no one called me? I should be fighting there. Fuck the world. Fuck this. And I've enough of it. You know what I mean? Whereas now I'm taking in charge. As in, if I retire now, it's on me. And at least when it's all said and done, I made that decision. You know, I didn't retire me because it wasn't making the phone calls. Because I could be blaming you for the next 10 years, 20 years.
Ring me whenever you want to bitch about him. Anytime.
But you know what I mean? The last thing I want to do is be a victim. I'm not a victim of anything.
Yes, okay.
As in, I want
you have a great
at least
mindset.
when it's all done.
Great mindset.
But this only happened over the last couple of years because of the ups and downs in boxing. And I got sucked into them over the years, and I was in holes I never wanted to be in.
Like going into like how do you fight? Obviously, I'm sure you rely on family and friends or whatever, but like, because I love boxing. I remember boxing amateur, never to far from the levels that you're at. But I've been in the ring as a kid coming through and stuff like that, and like I've seen boxers being like at club level, being dark places after fights and, you know, not knowing where they're going. And as you said, it could be tough. You know, it's such a tough sport. It's so hard on yourself. Like, how do you like every time I talk to you, you're so positive. Do you think that's just a built up resilience that you have?
I think it is built up resilience because everything I wanted in boxing I never got, and you know there was times there when I won and everything was mighty and everything was great, and it didn't bother me. And then when things were bad, it was very bad. You know, so you get used to as a young fella growing up, not being able to eat food, not being able to eat stuff at lunch.
Is that one of the toughest things?
Looking back on it now, I don't know. It is hard though, watching food and making weight.
Like I know we joked about it earlier on, but
you can't go like, let's say for the last couple of years now, there's more wedding invitations coming into the house, and everyone loves a wedding. We all love it, but I look at it and say, I can't go to that wedding because I can't eat. You know, I can't go and have a big steak dinner, or I can't, you know, I can't be eating at the wedding, so I won't go.
Okay.
You know, and then Sharon has to go to the wedding on her own, or she mightn't go either.
Yeah.
You know, like it's sort of,
it's a sacrifice.
It is hard. It's a sacrifice, but not only for me, for her as well. She's living at home there now for the last couple of years with me, and it depends on how the day is going. I'm a different person in the house with her, with the kids even now. You know, with
what age are the kids, if you don't mind?
3 and 2 at the minute.
2.
Yeah, so like.
Busy time.
I did there was a scary day there a couple of weeks ago, just before this all was launched. We were waiting for things to be put into place, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a fast day today, because you know through my camp I do certain fast days, and then you can hit the ground running, and just to handle the weight situation and just clear the head as well. And I knew the fight was going to be announced this particular day, but things weren't coming through, so I was I wasn't eating, and I was narky, and I was in my headspace
Hangry.
wasn't there. I was hangry, yeah. But this is different hangry now. This is different.
Yeah.
This is not.
With
This is
pressure.
not.
This is
Yeah,
pressure.
this
like,
is
yeah.
pressure, and the fight.
is hangry on steroids.
The things weren't coming through as they were meant to be, and I was snapping at the kids, in the evening. And I wasn't, and it scared me a little bit because that wasn't how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah.
I thought I could do the fast day because I was so concentrated on the fight, and when it was going to be announced, I'd be concentrating on that. Like a fast day, you need to be kept busy, and the thing with this was nothing on this day because things weren't working out
Which often
at all.
happens.
Yeah, they weren't working. So, and I was lucky to still have a wife after it, and the 2 kids there as well. It was it was horrible, and that was my body, reacting to the pressure,
course,
reacting to being hungry, reacting to fasting, reacting things not going well, know. So, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, as in I knew that I shouldn't have been snapping at them or I shouldn't have been doing the stuff like that.
That's
but
tough.
I couldn't control it, and that scared me.
I'm sure Sharon understood as well at the time.
Yeah, no, because I've often had them days, but not that bad.
Yeah.
But when I look back at it now, I was never in this position with kids before.
Yes.
I was a
Yes.
professional.
There's
I was
an
a
added
full-time
pressure.
professional athlete a couple of years ago. But I was just me.
You're allowed to be selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just me, and I could do whatever I wanted. Sharon could leave the house just for the day, or I could leave, and we get on great.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm a dad, know, and I wasn't a dad that day, and I said, you know what, that's not how it's meant to be. I don't want to be ever like that again.
Listen, it happens. It happens in all walks of life. There's times and in
high
periods.
pressure situations.
High pressure,
will
yeah.
Just like, especially when you're, as you said, you don't have enough stuff to keep you busy.
Yeah, I wasn't busy
Either.
enough. Things weren't going right for the long. Things weren't falling into place as they were. There was different distractions.
The way you'd envisaged.
And I was on obviously a calorie deficit for a couple of days before, and then I hit the fast already depleted.
Yes.
So I thought I'd be busy, so busy that I wouldn't think of food or I think of being busy. So yeah, that was one of the bad days now.
Have you lost much weight between December and this point?
Yeah, I'm probably walking around 72 kilos is my general weight.
Yeah.
70 to 72, but probably after Christmas I would have been close to 72, and I'm walking around 66 and a half now. So
Okay,
what's that?
that's
5
big.
kilos, but that's fully hydrated,
Yes.
fully fueled, training hard, eating 3 or 4 meals a day,
Yeah.
as in that's solid at that. I have to make 63.5 for the fight, so I have another 3 kilos to go. But that's water loading. That's just water.
How easy is that to lose between now and?
It's easier.
To me, that sounds like a lot.
No, it's easier than the last couple of weeks because that's real mass I've lost. The water loading and getting rid of the water for the last couple of kilos is false. It's false because I only lose it for the sake of a half an hour. Make the weight and I balloon it back up again and more.
Which I find fascinating, and it's not just with boxing; it's with UFC fighting as well and everything.
But even horse racing, you love horse racing. They generally stay at a lower weight for the day that they'll race, and then they might have a couple of days off where they go up a kilo or two, and then they might hit the saunas the night before.
Yeah, but that's
racing
up
again.
a kilo or two. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I go up 7 or 8 kilos in a day. You couldn't
How
put on
could you
7 or
do
8.
that?
Yeah, but it's like the way I explain it is a sponge. You put a sponge into water, right?
Yeah.
That sound. But say if the sponge is filled with water and you put it into the water, it doesn't change. But you squeeze the sponge and put it into water, it just sucks everything in. So what you do is you're getting rid of all your body fluids, you're getting rid of all your water in your body that your body needs.
Yeah.
And as soon then as you get rid of it, you're empty, you're dry, and then as soon as you start putting in, your body holds onto it, and it takes everything.
So after you weigh in, you're going to have 10 creamy pints.
I won't have 10 because I'm fighting the next day, but I have 4 anyway. I would
After
have
the
4
fight.
pints at that stage. 4 pints
Oh,
would
tittle you.
knock me down.
Yeah.
As in,
So what will you eat when you weigh in?
I usually have like a pasta dish, but you have your diuretes, your get your water, get everything back in.
Okay.
Your
Is that not
you're
dangerous to
hungry.
the body?
I'm sure it is
course it is,
dangerous.
yeah.
I'm sure it is dangerous, but so is boxing, so is anything, so
Yeah.
is
Plus,
everything.
if you, it's about doing it in control.
Yeah, it is controlled.
Have you had any bad cuts?
Yeah, the last fight in Castlebar was my worst cut ever, but it was my lowest cut. I came down from 75 kilos down to 61, 2 stone, and I didn't really. Well, I had it. I did have it. If I had to have it to lose it, but I remember I was.
I thought you meant to cut in the face.
No, I was thinking I was like 1.5 kilos. So it was like £3 the morning of the weigh-in, but I was already dry. I did my sweat session the night before, and I couldn't sleep, and I was off the bath. But I went into the bath. You think going into a bath now is luxurious and Epsom salt bath.
He does it
an awful
every
hot
second
bath.
day if he can.
Yeah,
An awful
I
hot
love
bath.
baths.
But the hot bath being dry is not like
Torture. Like.
That's
it's
to make
not
you
like
sweat.
your Radox.
Yeah.
Not like your Radox pampering bath. This is completely different. Pins and I jumped into the bath for 10 or 15 minutes. I had pins and needles. My whole body went into. I wouldn't say a shock, but I went into something. And we're living in a house in town, and Sharon had to lift me up out of the bath, and I couldn't walk across the landing of the hall to lie down, because I had to lie down under blankets, and that's where we'd only space to lie down. And Sharon had to link me and carry me over. So I lied down there for 15 minutes.
And this is how far out from your fight?
Was an hour out from the weigh-in the day before.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
but
so
even from the fight.
36 hours.
So the day before, like 36
I was
hours,
carried.
you're that weak, and then you have to build yourself. Like, that sounds mental.
Yeah, but that was the biggest cut ever done. And Sharon, I couldn't put on my socks around, she'd put on my socks and get me up and link me down the stairs and into this, sit in the passenger seat like a child, being brought to this weigh-in, and we landed with a load of people there, supporters and
Yes.
and everyone roaring and shouting, clap me in the back. I couldn't even. My eyes wouldn't focus. My eyes wouldn't focus. They're just going one way. I couldn't look at you straight. The one eye wouldn't focus, and I pretended everything was all right, but it really wasn't. But
But I'm sure.
anyway, I didn't win that fight, but I thought I did better. I did well to be there even at that stage. But the cut was too much.
Yeah.
I made 2 mistakes that time. I made that weight for the first time in 10 years. The lower weight, 61.2, and I moved up to 10 rounds for the first time ever as well, from 6
At the same time.
So they were, you don't do that, but
How much? You went to full distance?
yeah, when I went the full
Okay.
distance, I lost by a split decision.
That's still decent.
I know,
goal.
but I should have. It was mistakes.
Should have been an 8-round fight at 63 or something. Maybe.
Yeah, I should have been.
Yeah. But it's hindsight.
It doesn't matter.
It's really
And
easy,
you know what? I
it's
might
easy
even
to say
still
that.
I might even won it then. I don't know. But they were, you don't do 2 big decisions like that. You don't make 2 big decisions like that. 10 rounds is a big deal. And making that weight was a big deal. I never met that weight. I never met it as a professional. And the last time I would have met it, I would have been 18, and I was 28, so I was 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like your body was probably reacting to that extra cut, was it?
It definitely was. And the punch, I got dropped twice in the 5th round, and the punches that hit me, they weren't big punches. They were just average. I was often hit way bigger. Way bigger at home when I came home one night. I said I was coming home at 12. I came home at 12:30, and Sharon hit me. I had no punch resistance at all. To say I would have lost fluid, and my fluid around the brain, I drained some of that out.
Yeah.
That I had to lose so much.
Yes.
And that takes a couple of days to build back up again.
Okay. Of
Now,
course.
I'm no doctor, but that's what.
I can well
Don't
imagine.
be taking any advice from me. About water loading.
Well,
specifically for boxing only, I wouldn't recommend it for someone that wants to lose a few pounds for a wedding.
Yeah.
You don't do. This is not what you do.
Well,
this
I'm
is
in no danger
temporary.
of putting on the gloves anyway. So
No.
tell me before I forget. Getting back to the kids, if the boys said to you in a few years' time, Dad, I'd like to have a go at boxing, what would you say?
I'd obviously be proud and I'd back them, but I'd like them to box amateur and as a pastime.
Okay.
I fulfilled my life with it, and I've chased it as a career. I was gambling really, because the chance of you making it are slim enough, and there's no guarantee with it. You're gambling because you put in a couple of years there, 8 years, and you might make it or you mightn't. But after the 8 years, you're bollocks anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whereas if you put 8 years into work or into college, you're going to come out with something. With boxing, there's no guarantee you're going to come out with it.
It has
So, and I
a
think
limited
just the
time
disappointment as well of not getting to where you want to get is it's heartbreaking.
it's hard.
I'll never live it down not going to the Olympics. I'm still to this day, even when it's all said and done.
Does it irk you?
It does hurt me, yeah. Just because that's what I set out to do and I failed. You know,
That's
and
tough.
I'll never get it back. Can't ever go back. Look, it's not the end of the world. It's not. But
No.
I set out to do that and I didn't do it. I thought,
We're so close as well.
so close as well. Yeah.
It's one of these things though, when you like you've got your whole life ahead of you as well. Like those 8 or 10 years, they're a very small portion of your life, and it's filled with like these amazing trips and being on the crest of like probably the peak of Irish boxing on an amateur circuit was the years you were involved, and you were in the mix
the
of it.
experience that I got and the stories that I
Amazing.
have and the life that I've lived is worthy of a book. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I couldn't write the
Oh,
book,
well, that
as I
sort of
would-
answers my next
He
question.
can't write either.
Do you you obviously don't regret making the decision to keep boxing back when you're
I don't know.
when you're uncle?
I don't think I do.
Yeah.
Because the life I've lived, you wouldn't get in your 9 to 5. You
Yeah,
know, I'm working
yeah.
now full time, but obviously not now. I'm on break. But you know, I'm just living an ordinary life. It's not. I like the phone call. When phone calls come, you know, will you fight Donald Smith and live on the zone and Josh Warrington versus Kiko Martinez world title fight? You know, you're going to get X amount. Do you want to do that? Yeah, I'll do
That's
it.
exciting.
Do you want to go to Boston and drink coffee with Mickey Ward and fight in Boston? You know, Dropkick Murphys, King Casey, the lead singer, he's going to be promoting you. Do you want to do that? I do, yeah. Do you want to fight in Castlebar and be co-featured with Dillian
Mickey,
White?
I have to go back to Mickey
You know what I mean?
Ward.
Like these,
Mickey
you
Ward,
don't get
man.
them stories
What a
on the 9 to
legend.
5.
No,
Mickey
100%.
Ward, he's
Oh my God.
we-
His fights with the Toro Garci are the stuff of legend.
yeah, stuff like that, class.
unreal.
And you look up at that stuff, and that's real. That's stuff that you'll never get or see.
I remember watching that second fight with the Toro Garci live.
That was the Slugfest.
Yeah, the first
Oh.
one's the best, I think.
First one's unreal as well.
That you know, you don't get them phone calls. Any phone call could come at any time. That's the life I'm living.
Yeah.
Like it. Now that you say Arturo Gatti's coach, Buddy McGirt, he's actually coming to Castlebar because he's Dillian White's coach.
Oh,
he's
wow.
a former world champion. So like he's boxing royalty. He's a
Yeah,
Hall of
yeah,
Famer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's coming to Castlebar again. You know, like these are like to
That's
get them
amazing.
opportunities. Like it's you need to
We'll get to
yeah, it's hard to explain.
Did you say Dillian White? I should know that. I probably been just calling him Dillian White. In a minute, we'll get through some of the comments. Irish boxing. Mick Connon won an amateur worlds. Yes, I think we said that.
Yeah, he did.
after
He
that,
won
yeah.
the senior. I won the junior, but I was the first to win it.
Yeah,
There's only
Yeah.
one first.
there's only one
But
first.
Michael
you're
Gallen
100%.
is far better than me and was far better. So, but he wasn't the first.
Okay, well, we just wanted to clear that
Oh
up.
yeah, no.
Irish
Yeah.
boxing.
Why did you say that?
Yeah, you did. Jack Wall says, "Well, lads, all is the crack. Jack, hope all is well. Jack's always there first. Did you watch Snatch by Guy Ritchie? If you did, what did you make of it? What did you make of it?
Love Snatch.
I love Snatch too.
Yeah.
I watched it in the cinema. It's very rarely
Brad
I watch
Pitt-
a movie,
Brad
but I watched
Pitt,
that.
being the pikey.
Yeah.
I really, yeah.
Yeah, he made a great job of that. Is it a clear reflection on the boxing game?
On the
Or is
No,
that-
it's not.
No.
Maybe
In some
there's definitely
that
there's
was-
gangsters running it,
yeah.
and
Well, in England, say, is there an underground?
But that was underground.
That was
and
underground. Is there an underground?
I don't know. I'm sure there's.
Well, it's the
bare
bare,
knuckle.
that's based on the bare knuckle boxing, and there's some
Oh, that
travelers
is true,
that are
yeah.
taking
Yeah.
And
that.
there's unlicensed boxing as well. I think I might branch into that at some point. You know,
I might join you.
We'll
as
go,
in
we'll
on
go
the
out,
side,
we'll
on
go
the
out
side.
we'll go out the car park.
We go to the square here in Swinford. Yeah, I actually watched that and I absolutely love that. It's actually one of my, I'd say, top 3 movies. Not that I watch an awful lot of movies. Irish Newfoundland beer. How bad are the liver shots?
I couldn't even explain how bad they are. They're the worst thing ever. Worse than
Are you serious?
Hitler. As in, I got hit a few liver shots, and your whole body shuts down. It's like being stabbed. I've never been stabbed, thank God, but it's like your whole body shuts down.
Okay.
You can't breathe. You're in excruciating pain, and you don't know what's happening to your body. It just shuts
So when you get a
down.
liver shot,
Yeah.
is that night out? Good night, Irene.
A good liver
good
shots
one.
all over.
A good one.
I've taken liver shots. They were shots, right? They were good shots. I couldn't breathe. I was in pain for a couple of days, and all you do is touch it after that. It's sore for days, and it's worse because it's worse than a headshot because it just takes the wind out of your sails, and there's no back from it.
There's no back?
No back. No
You can't
matter
get
how
past a good
No
liver
matter
shot.
how good, if it's a good one, no way.
Because I've seen
You see finishes where it's almost like a 2 or 3 second
Yeah, a delay.
delay, yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it's out. I promise you, there's no pain like a kick in the balls has a patch on it.
Oh wow.
And a headshot is great because you don't feel
You
it.
don't feel you're out.
Your light's out and it's out, and then you get up and you say, "What happened there?" And then it's forgotten about. You might have a headache that night, but the liver shot, it's instant and it's long lasting.
Where do you have to hit? Where
the
do you have to
liver?
hit
It's on the left side.
Yeah, it's always
yeah,
on the
it's
left.
on the left side. Oh, you have only one liver.
Yeah,
Not
but
like the story
I thought
you
it
had
was more.
earlier.
I thought it was more.
Well, it's on the left. It's the left
Yeah,
hook
okay,
you throw to get
okay.
the liver. Yeah. And there's no back from it. Great.
No, it's on your right side. It's on
Yeah,
their left.
yeah. No, the reason I say that because I've often seen.
Yeah, the left hook.
It was the question, but then I have seen boxing fights, and next thing, as you said, it's like a delay.
It's like it can
It's
be
like,
you can
what
be
the f-
just a shot to the. It looks like just a shot to the stomach. And then the next thing is just this little stumble into the knee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knee,
You
knee
know they're
gone.
done. You can see in their face. They know they're done.
Yeah, because the headshot's usually the headshot that you get hit. You don't see the headshot coming. Because usually if you see it, you'll brace for impact. And usually you'll get away with it. Sometimes I get hit. And I don't know where it came from at all. But you can sometimes protect it. But if you get hit from a shot that you don't see, like a little short uppercut or something like that, that'll catch you and that'll put you off balance. And you don't see it and you don't feel it.
Okay.
But you're on the ground.
Okay.
And you say, how the hell did I get here?
What about obviously Dillion's fighting on the card, same card as he had the weekend. He famously fought AJ, who had a big statement win against Francis Ngannou at the weekend.
Well, before we go on to that, what do you think of the likes of Francis Ngannou coming into boxing? Is it as bad as Jake Paul?
It's not as bad because this
No.
man's a real fighting man.
I know,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
You know,
But to be getting the top fights
but
just after walking
but
in,
he's a world champion in the UFC.
yeah.
I don't know. Heavyweight boxing is different anyway.
I had this discussion with Pete on the
He
way
also
down
went
from
10 he went 10 rounds with Fury.
which
Out of shape, Fury.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad AJ knocked him out in the second round the weekend.
and he knocked him out.
That
good.
needed to happen the first time out. That
Yeah.
needed to happen with Fury, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So it gave a chance.
the
It
credibility.
opened the gate for other.
Did it give him a false
crossover
confidence?
fights. It gave no, but it opened the gate for other crossover fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like as I said earlier, boxing is boxing. You know, let them do something else. Call it something else.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
It's just the problem is that boxing are almost relying on someone else bringing a bit of sparkle to the fight. McGregor going and fighting Mayweather. Again, Mayweather knew that he could go in. He's too smart.
Mayweather carried him.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
I
only listened to it.
respect McGregor and I admire him for what he's done in
Yeah,
the
in the
sport
fighting
world.
game, yeah.
He's a serious operator.
Yeah.
But he's not a boxer. You know what I mean? And then he got to fight the best boxer probably that ever walked the planet.
Yeah.
And then he carried him for 10
Is
rounds.
like you have to be a boxer to be good at boxing. I know that sounds crazy, but what I mean is you can be a great fighter, but boxing is completely different.
It's sport and there's rules. And like I'm a good boxer. I'm an average boxer. I can fight. But you put me out on the street there, I'd be gone in 30 seconds. I don't have that.
Okay.
Can't fight on the street. I can't cross over to any other fighting game or
Yes.
sport. I tried kickboxing when I was a young fella. I had to pack that in though. Couldn't keep the gloves on my feet. No, I can't cross over. I can box, and as soon as there's rules there, I'm safe, and I have you. But as soon as the rules are out the door, I'm gone.
Yeah. It's completely different. It's a completely different.
sport.
Yeah, it's sport.
Ball
It's
game.
sport. I don't fight because I don't like you or I want to hit something.
Yeah.
I fight for the
It's your
rules,
sport.
and I know the rules off.
When you were going out when you were younger, were there lads that were chancing their arm?
At the time, when I was a young lad, growing up, 15, 16, there was lads. But thankfully, never had to fight or anything like that. But there was people who'd be saying, "Oh, you're the boxer," and they'd be not squaring up, but they'd be having an opinion.
agenda,
But yeah.
yeah.
But by the
Oh,
time
I
I
can
got
well
to
imagine.
18, and I started winning, and I was doing well, that was gone. No
Yes.
one cared because they knew I was the boxer then. And they appreciated me nearly rather than trying to challenge me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like they used to
Instead
nearly
of
back
like
me. They
being a
started
target,
backing
a
me.
target in your head.
Yeah, I wasn't a target then.
Yeah.
I was nearly, they accepted me for being the boxer, and that was it. But I had a target on my head until I probably got to 18. But thankfully, it didn't.
Things were different there in the west of Ireland. There was a little bit of that in every town.
Yeah.
I'd say there was, but thankfully, well, I was brought up in Island. I went to school in Westport or Castlebar, and my boxing club was in Westport. So I was never Castlebar against Westport. Well, I was never involved. I was sort of.
I was going
I
to
was
ask
in
that
all-
question.
in all
If
the
you were
groups.
if you were to say which town was your town, would it be Westport or
Castlebar is my
Castlebar?
town.
Okay.
That's my address. If I said I was going to town, I'm going to Castlebar.
Okay.
Westport is where my mother's from, and that's where my boxing club is.
Yeah.
So like I was sort of, I don't know, am I connected to the both of them or connected to none of them? When
Yeah.
you're connected, so I'd be,
Actually,
they're
they're all trying
both
to
my
come.
they're both my towns.
And I
now.
know that
We'll
you're
adopt you in Swinford.
you're a proud
No, I won't go to
No,
Swinford.
you won't.
a proud Mayo man.
Of course I am.
Yeah,
Proud Mayo
yeah,
man.
I-
Proud
I-
Irish man.
Excellent. Lee Murphy says my family are from Island 80. Does he know any of the Coonies?
I do. I know the Coonies from down Letcher. Nice people. They're great singers, the Coonies.
Very good.
I'm used to
Uh,
meet them in the Key West.
Liam has been following us since the beginning, and he's over in Birmingham, which we'll be over in Birmingham on Thursday. So really looking forward to that. And I know that Liam is big into the Cheltenham Festival as well. So we'll be exchanging tips along the way. If you were to go into any other sport, what would it have been?
I don't know. I played a bit. I played everything, and I'm very competitive no matter what I played.
Yeah.
Whether I was good or bad at it, I didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
I'd find a way to win some way. Or if I wasn't winning, I'd break up the game. Or I'd throw it. I'd burst the football. Or I remember.
It's my ball, I'm
I
going
remember
home.
we were playing. So in boxing, let's say you're fighting at 7:00 Saturday night. That's but we used to be in Dublin a competition. We used to go into Dr. Quirky's playing pool and playing snooker, and I used to be always winning with the coaches or whatever and playing. But I think they were trying to mind me as well. Let me win, keep me in a good form.
Yeah.
But I remember that time Tom Moore actually and Gary Kennedy were playing, and they got me in a snooker, and there was only a couple of points in it. Now, because you're only putting one ball at a time. There's no big breaks here.
No, yeah.
And they got me in a snooker, and I missed it. I couldn't get out of the snooker. I tried it once, and I said no way. And I was losing. I lost 4 points. That was a big deal now in a close game. 4 points. No, that's not going to happen again. So what I did was I just smashed all the balls everywhere.
So you couldn't
and
re-rack.
they couldn't re-rack them. And I think I won because he was so vicious and cross. He lost the head, but he said that I ruined the game.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to lose the fairway.
That's it. Win by any means.
possible.
Yeah,
Oh,
any means
100%.
Machiavellian. Talhal 98, that is Talhal Jumar, says was gigging with Stephen at the weekend. It was good crack. It was great crack. I must say that the creamy pints kicked in before I even got on the stage. So
Bet is it?
they did. They
Not
did.
the
It
first
was
time
mighty
that's
crack.
happened to you.
No, not
it
the
won't
first
be the
time, and it
last.
won't be the last. We won't keep you much longer, Ray. Dylan White, Dillian White. How did he become on the card? How did he? Because that's a big name.
It is. It's too big of a name for Castlebar and the west of Ireland. Really, this guy is a world-renowned heavyweight. He's one of the best heavyweights in the world. I don't think there was a heavyweight fight in Ireland, like this since Muhammad Ali fought in Croke Park against Al Blue Lewis.
Wow.
This is a big. And do you know what? I am a practical joker and I am a blackguard, right?
Yeah, because someone says here, a cowboy talking to a cowboy.
Yeah. I would be, you know, I love the practical joke and messing and the slagging, and, you know, I'd pull a stroke if I could. People don't believe me that he's coming.
Yeah.
Some of my family haven't even bought tickets because I said, yeah, I'm winding them up. You know what I mean? They're not coming to see me, like.
Yeah.
So he is coming, but I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. He's getting back into the swing of things. But Thomas Carty is an Irish heavyweight in Dublin. He's Irish heavyweight.
We watched him at
I'm in the gym. I'm in the gym with him in Celtic Warrior Gym. I went to Pascal Collins, my trainer and my manager. I said, Pascal, I'm coming to the end of my career. I said, no fights coming. I've parental leave to take for my young fella. He's 2 in March. And I said, I've 7 weeks to take there, or 5 weeks to take. I said, I'll take this for March and we'll organise a fight night in Castlebar. He said, right, let's go ahead with that. But I need a promoter. I'm not a promoter, I'm a boxer.
Yeah.
And we approached Thomas's team. They're actually, they manage, so Dylan White is actually Thomas's manager and their team. So their platform now, their Platform Sports, and they're promoting this event in Castlebar. They want to start promoting events in Ireland. And I approached them, asked them would they help me run my fight. And so I gave them an opportunity to come. You know, it's going to be a successful night. We sold it out the last time. Some great fighters on it.
There's still some tickets available for anyone that's watching.
Yeah, there's a link in the the
and I'll be pushing it all week as well.
So they're going to hit the ground running with me, and they're going to get into the Irish market for running professional boxing. So they sort of backed me, because you need money up front here to get this over the line. You know, there's a lot of money to be spent to get it over the line, to get everything covered and over the line first before any fight, before any bell rings. And then Dylan White is part of this team, and he's getting back into the swing of things. And in order for them to make waves in Ireland, you know, people want to be talking about platform sport. Let's make a fucking bang here.
Yeah, and so this is Dylan's. It's like a comeback fight.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So then he's going to be in the mix again with the big heavyweights. You know, like his last fight was meant to be against Anthony Joshua. Do you know what I mean? Like these are, he's fought all these guys. He's going to be back at that top level again. And like he's fighting in Castlebar.
That's
in the
huge.
west of Ireland. You know, like Sky Sports were covering the news. Like this is big. DAZN have it on all their platforms. Yeah, like he's world renowned.
Is it going to be televised?
It will be televised. Yeah, I'm waiting for Michael there, the promoter. We call him Magic. We're waiting for him to just get the details out there, just of it being televised. But
and who do you think will be televising?
I don't know for sure. It mightn't be direct television. It could be a stream.
Yeah,
you know,
like
sometimes that's the right.
Is it
DAZN? It could be DAZN. It could be, you know, it could be a Sky Sports stream. It could
are they tied in with Eddie Hearn?
Eddie Hearn owns stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You know, but there's no substitute for live sport. You know,
I know that,
like
or be there.
To be there, the atmosphere.
That's
like,
the key.
The amount of people that I've met in the county, but I'm going to say really Castlebar or Westport, you know, that said they were there that night and said it was the best sporting event they ever attended. Not because of the fights that were there, but just the atmosphere in the room and the energy in the room. That's something that you can't replicate that, or you can't even plan that. That just has to happen with real audience and real fight. So, and thankfully I got a real fight for Castlebar. I know the last time you covered me, your man fell over in 30 seconds. You know, that wasn't my phone now.
No.
We done a podcast. We done a Zoom podcast with Ray. Was Pete involved with that one?
Yeah, we were all. Mikey was on that one as well.
Okay.
In the middle of COVID.
In the middle of COVID, and that was over Zoom. It's not the same as being in person.
But then we covered him.
And then we thought we'd follow through for the fight. We thought we'd watch the fight. So we were listening.
Just me and you.
It was just me and you. We were just listening to it. And we were going to commentate on it as we were. Were we watching it?
We were watching it, yeah.
We were watching
it on the
it.
stream.
We turned it on there, and in the red corner, whatever. And next thing, there was a glitch, probably maybe 30 seconds. And Ray Moylette is the winner. Like, it was over.
And we had a great pint. We were,
Yeah.
we were lost.
Was that the night we went in? And that wasn't the night we
No.
went in, and I ended up burning my boots.
I don't think so. Oh, it might be. It might be. It seems.
I think it was.
It could be. Yeah. The things were starting to open up, and myself and himself went into Mellett's, and we were drinking hot whiskies. We had a rake of pints out, out of the bar out in his house. We went in. We had about 10 hot whiskies, and then for some reason I was staying at his house for whatever reason.
Which was we can't understand because it's the same distance nearly to his house.
My home, but like we ended up out in Lisslacca. We took 2 different routes to get home. I went home with one of the neighbours dropping me.
I walked for some strange reason,
and then in the morning he looks into the fire and one of his boots was in there.
Go away.
No, but it was an ash. It had just turned to ash.
So there was a glitch in the fight. It was a glitch that night.
A glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, your biggest boxing idol.
I suppose Mickey Ward. When I look back at things now, I used to love like Floyd Mayweather and all these people, but you know what? They're not really my idols at this stage. They're sort of sold out. So I've sort of changed now. Mickey Ward, just a hardened professional,
And a real person.
coming from tough background, lives a normal life like me or you to this day still. You know what I mean? And he was never the best, but he always gave everything that he had. He was a real warrior. You know what I mean? So, and if you met him here today and he'd be drinking tea with him, he'd be looking up to you.
What age is he now?
He's in his 40s anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually more. To be
Yeah,
quite
well, he
honest.
might be a little bit more. He might be a little bit more.
Yeah.
But just a real genuine, lovely fella, and I enjoyed my time with him over there in Boston.
Well,
and I don't know if you ever seen the film The Fighter.
I didn't.
Brilliant.
Well, that's your homework now tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And his brother is Dickie Eklund, and
Why two different names?
2 different fathers.
Okay.
But I met the 2 of them, and I actually went on the piss with the 2 of them as well after one of the fights, and that'll go in the book when it's ever written.
Okay.
But there's actually a scene in the film where Dickie is in a crack house, and the mother comes to pick him up, and he jumps out of the 3rd-story window onto a load of trash cans.
Yeah.
And he says, did you see that in the film where he jumped out of the window? I said, yeah, that was class. Yeah, there's no fucking trash cans. So he was telling me there's no trash cans when he really done it.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling that I might have seen a picture
You might
of
have
this.
seen
Matt Damon and what's his name?
Christian
Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Christian
yeah.
Bale's brilliant. Christian Bale's brilliant in it.
No, Mark
Christian Bale is
Wahlberg
great.
not.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mark
sorry.
Wahlberg, yeah.
Is Christian Bale in it?
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
Christian
I'll
Bale.
tell
I
you,
like,
it's
and I
class.
like more Mark Wahlberg as well.
It's a
Wahlberg.
real,
Wahlberg,
it's a true story.
That kind of
Bar the trash cans.
that kind of answers the next question. I was going to say, if there was a fight in history that you would love to have been ringside at, going back whatever distance of time, length of distance in time, what would it have been?
I never even thought of that. Obviously, I would love to see Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward.
Yeah.
I suppose not because I met Mickey Ward and was over with him in Boston, but that was just one of the fucking real fights,
Yeah.
a class fight. They're just a real fight. Yeah.
Yeah, poor Arturo had a sad demise
Yeah,
as well.
the sad end when it all
Why would
came
happen?
to it.
He was murdered.
Oh,
Well, they
Say he done himself in, but there's
It's
no.
very contentious.
okay. Mafia job.
No, the
wife, the wife.
wife.
Well, maybe I might get sued.
yeah, I'm not saying that.
I might get sued.
The wife
But,
killed him.
Yeah,
No,
but
I don't
I
know.
watched the documentary that
Yeah, there's a
claimed it was the
documentary,
wife, but I think did it go to a civil court case that she lost a civil court case about the death of him? I don't know. Like I'm reaching back.
It was
in the brain
no.
or something.
They weren't in a happy relationship the way it was.
Yeah.
And things weren't going well, but it wasn't meant in that way either.
Yeah.
You know.
But
We don't know.
I think officially it was ruled a suicide.
On that light note, we'll wrap up
But I
tonight.
read out the last couple of
Okay,
comments
do.
there. Thomas Kitely goes, "Hey lads, love the show. Best of luck in the fight, Ray. What is it like having Alan Babbage and Johnny Walker around Celtic Warriors gym?"
I mean, it's worth it. Like Alan Babbage, the savage. Like he
Where's that message? Oh yeah.
He's an animal. a real, he's a real hardened, like, he lives for boxing and he trains so hard. He puts on sweatsuits, he puts on sauna suits because he wants to make it harder for himself.
Yeah.
And I said, what are you doing? I said, you were too slow in there today, because I see him sparring. I was watching him and I'm trying to talk to him. He said, no, I want this hard. This has to be hard. I said, no, man, it doesn't. Well, I'm taking shortcuts. Maybe that's why I'm here, and I'm not where I'm meant to be. I'm taking shortcuts.
I've never heard of this name.
Yeah, he's very good. He's one of the heavyweights.
Okay.
He's a big fight now in a couple of weeks. And then Johnny Walker's in the UFC.
Well, I know Johnny Walker.
He got knocked out the last time, but he's training there. He's a good guy.
He seems like gas
the two of them are
crack as
actually
well.
going to be in Castlebar as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so like there's going to be a couple of big hitters in Castlebar.
Is Thomas Carty going to be there?
Yeah, he's fighting.
Oh, he's fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what
He
is?
didn't read the poster at all.
He did.
I read you, and that's all that matters.
Anyway,
you're sitting ringside. You know that. You're with the big hitters.
Excellent.
You'll be sitting beside Thomas
Yeah.
Carty going, "Are you fighting on this?"
Right. Like Roddy Collins there. He's a great character as
right.
well.
We
Like
had a
they're
couple
like they'll
pints
all
already.
be there. It's a couple other big hitters.
I was
too,
on stage with Roddy Collins up at the Two Johnnies in
Roddy Bolins.
Roddy Bolins.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's some character.
Oh, he's a great
some
character.
Oh, he's
And like he the best stories. Like
Yeah.
we go to the
Yeah, yeah.
gym. And I said, Roddy, I have to train. He's telling me stories there, what happened when over the years. And
He'd talk the hind legs off an ass.
Yeah.
Would Steve come out for us?
Yeah, well, I don't think Steve will be there that night. I thought
Steve
initially he
is
might be, but like this, Paddy's Day or St. Patrick's Day is one of the most, is the day he's hot property because it's the night before he bet Eubank in Mill Street and stuff. It was the night before St. Patrick's Day. So like, it's a big occasion. He's a Celtic warrior. Like he's all what's good about Ireland.
Yeah.
So like he's in high demand for that day. I don't think he'll be there. Thought he might be initially, but
You never know.
there. But he just be in the gym. I do see him there once a week maybe.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, he was class. So we should look up
I watched
to him
one
as
of his. I don't know, was it the second fight with Eubank or the first one? We watched it in Greenies when Greenies was hopping. It was very late, and I think it was like a life. It was like we shouldn't have been in there.
Eddie Durkin, Martin Maloney's sister managed Chris Eubank for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They have some good stories. She also managed Mick Conlon early on in his career. So
Very good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But, that's the crack.
That is it. We'll wrap it up at that. Ray, it's been an absolute pleasure,
Thank
and
you
I
very
can't
much.
wait for
Can't
Sunday
wait for the
as
weekend.
well. And
you like St. Patrick's Day, right? Just there's drinking
yeah,
and fighting.
and
And
fight.
you know what the best part is? It's all legal.
And there might
It's all
even
happening in Castlebar.
later on that night there might even be a bit of riding. right, guys. We will wrap it up with that. Ray, thank you so much for joining us. Go check out Ray on Instagram, and also if you're around Castlebar or if you're stuck for a spectacular night on St. Patrick's Night, get your ticket for the TF Royal Theatre, where Ray and a host
There's a
of
link
other
in the description if you want to get tickets.
brilliant boxers are going to be on the card. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much, Ray, for joining us. Thank you very much, Chris, for being the legend that you are. And until the next time, stay safe, stay healthy.
And stay away from
Stay
yourself.
away from yourself.
Good luck.
Too well.
Thanks, man.